And I remember praying and asking God, why is life so hard for me? It shouldn't be this hard. Well, hey, my name is Crystal, and welcome to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. And if you are a returning viewer, welcome back. I haven't did a sit-down video in a very long time, and part of why I don't do sit-down videos anymore is because I get so easily distracted. If the kids are running around making noise, and or things are going on around me, and it's like I get lost in my own head, and I can't get through the video. So this video here, it's kind of, how do I put it? It's not a hard video for me to make, but it's kind of a personal video for me to make. I'm going to share something very personal with you guys. I said when I started my channel that I was going to share the good, the bad, the ugly. I was going to be transparent because I wanted you guys to see and understand what it's like for me, being a parent, being a single parent. But even more than that, I've always felt like with this parenting thing that, I don't know, it was like I always felt like I was struggling to do it. And it wasn't just parenting that I was struggling with. It was just life in general. And just recently, I started trying to look into why are things so much more difficult for me? Why are things so much more harder for me? And I decided that I want to go back to school to finish my degree. For those of you that don't know, I am only 12 classes away from having my bachelor's degree. And when COVID came about and everyone went online, it made it more difficult because I have never been able to be successful with online classes. And I look at everyone else and how they tell me, oh, online is easy. And, I didn't understand that, because for me, online is extremely, extremely hard. And every online class I've ever taken, I failed. So I started to kind of self-reflect and try to figure out what is going on with me, and especially what is going on with me up here. I don't know if I've ever shared, but I have a few neurological things going on with me. I have a persistent tic disorder. So if you've ever watched a video and I'm doing this and I'm twitching my face and I'm constantly like moving my fingers and things like that, that is something that is neurological. It's a tic. It's nothing that harms me in any kind of way or anyone else. I've always knew that I had tics, but I didn't really understand what it was until one of my children was diagnosed with Tourette syndrome. So then I asked the neurologist what was, how did they get Tourette's, and the doctor told me simply, he got it from you. Yeah, so I've been dealing with having tics all of my life. Um, yeah, I've dealt with tics all of my life, and they don't affect my my overall life or well-being in any kind of way. Other than they just look funny. I also deal with migraine headaches, and I have been dealing with migraine headaches since I was about 8 years old. And yeah, that's the first migraine I can remember. I was about 8 years old. So I've dealt with migraines and I've dealt with tics all of my life. But there's something else that I had been dealing with all of my life. And during this time of self-reflection and I don't know what else to call it, but during this time of self-reflection, so I've taken a break from dating, from men, from everything, and then recently God slowed me all the way down. My car got repossessed a few weeks ago, maybe about a month ago, and it slowed me down to where I was just left with my thoughts. And it really gave me a chance to think. And I started to think about all of the troubles that I've had in my life. And I remember praying and asking God, why is life so hard for me? It shouldn't be this hard. And I asked, and I guess when you ask, you got to be ready for what the answer may be. And for me, the answer may be that I've been living with undiagnosed ADHD. And I was at work the other day. I was I was listening to a YouTube video as I was working, and video came up, and it was a lady, and she was talking about being diagnosed with ADHD at the age of, I think it was like 47, and it was nothing but God that, brought me to this moment. I listened to the video and I started crying at work because she was explaining me. She was explaining me. And I thought back to my childhood, and I thought back to school and how hard it was for me to focus and to pay attention, to learn, and to grasp the things that they were teaching. And my teachers would always tell my mother, she's a daydreamer. She's a daydreamer. And I've heard that from as early as the first grade. She's a daydreamer. She just sits here and daydreams all day. And I attributed me being so unfocused in school to coming up in a dysfunctional household. ADHD never really dawned on me until recently. And when I started to look back and really, really, really look back at my life and my childhood, and in the beginning I was a very, very talkative child. I only stopped being talkative because I got in so much trouble for talking too much in school. So I learned to mask it. And So I'll just go through the symptoms that I deal with. I am going to get an official diagnosis because a little more than a year ago, I was diagnosed with depression. But I just didn't feel like that was the right diagnosis. I occasionally deal with depression. No, they diagnosed me with situational depression. But I didn't feel like that was the right diagnosis. I felt like they were missing something. Because, life threw me in a situation where, I was raising these kids alone, and we were stuck in a house during COVID, and, I was stressed. But I just didn't think or believe that depression was the right or the only diagnosis. Because deep down I felt like there was something more causing the depression, and it wasn't just life situations. So, I took it upon myself to do my own research. And what I realized is these are the things that I personally struggle with. And inattention, listening. I have listening issues, difficulty staying organized, poor time management, unable to regulate my emotions. And a lot of times people would say, "Oh my God, you're so strong. You're the strongest person I know." And I would always look at them and say, "No, I'm not." And, it was, all of my struggles were internal. So, when I'm dealing with death, when I'm dealing with, like my life just being chaotic and out of control, and, you guys, people around me, they don't see, what I'm feeling because it's all internalized. Chronic procrastination. I actually found that I put myself into these stressful situations where, like, if I had an assignment due or I had a deadline to meet, I would wait till the very last minute to do it. And it was like I thrived in that stressful situation. And it was like that's where I thrived. That's where I used to, when I was taking classes, I would say this is when I do my best work, because I would wait to the last minute, write that 5 or 6 or 10 page paper and turn it in and get an A. So that's where I thrived at. I'm a chronic procrastinator. I have very poor time management. That's why I'm constantly late. I am always late. I am very, very, very easily distracted. Right now, as I'm doing this video, I was just distracted because the lady's walking down the street with her dog. A man just came out on his porch to get a package, and my mind is just all over the place. Forgetfulness. I am super forgetful. I even had a time where I had a job interview and showed up an entire day late for the interview because I forgot what day the interview was on. Needless to say, I didn't get that job. Fidgety. I'm constantly moving. Clicking my pen, I'll sit and I'll click the pen or I'll shake my feet. Restless. I've dealt with restlessness. Lately it's been even you know, even more, because I think it's because I've been up under so much stress. And another symptom, but this symptom here, it's more of a superpower, and it's hyper focus. I have the ability to hyper focus, and sometimes I use that to my advantage, and it gives me an advantage above other people who don't have the ability to hyper focus. And what hyper focus is sometimes, I mean, it's a gift and a curse. It's a gift and a curse. Sometimes I can get so hyper focused on doing something that I'm doing that I completely lose track of time. And I'll just completely lose track of time. Sometimes I get so hyper focused on the things that I'm involved in or that I'm doing in that moment that I totally, forget what else I'm supposed to be doing, and I miss a lot of things because of that. But at the same time, if you've ever watched my vlogs, and you'll see me get off work and I'll say, I haven't eaten today. Or how did I go all day without eating? And I've done that in my entire life. And I've only just realized that I do that when I get into a hyper-focused state. And I have things that I have to do, and I have deadlines that I have to hit, and I have work that has to be done. And I'll just go and go and go. Hunger does not hit me. Thirst does not hit me. And I go and I go until it's finished. I've been like that my entire life. And we now know that is hyperfocus. And it's a great quality to have. Sometimes. So last night, I was in like really, really, really deep thought. And it's like all of these words were just going through my head. And, I wrote them down. And I wrote them down because these words hurt me to my core. I don't know. I just felt the need to write them down so that hopefully I never have to deal with those words again. I want to be done with those words. I don't want those words to ever live in my head another day. And those words are daydreamer, lazy, slow, emotionally unavailable, too strong, unfocused, disorganized, forgetful, always late, talkative, and a failure. So yeah, I know this isn't my typical type of video, or I should say I haven't done a sit down video like this in a long time. But I just felt like there was a need for me to share this as I go on this journey to try to figure it all out, and to put the pieces to the puzzle together. Share this with you guys, just because it's ADHD is a real thing. And so many people think that it's not. And, I'm one of the people that I was overlooked. I was overlooked because why would I ever had ADHD? For one, I'm a girl. And for two, I was quiet. Very low energy. And I was intelligent. Okay, so when I look back over my life and I look at my grades and I looked at, my elementary, middle, and high school years, I always performed below average, so C or below. I was not an AB student ever. I only got A's and B's in classes like home ec, child development, child care, things that I was really, really, really like interested in. But any other class, it was a no for me. I don't think that there's anything else that I want to say right now. I just kind of wanted to share that with you guys, and but I'm hopeful. I'm very hopeful, because now maybe life doesn't have to be so hard. Now maybe I can finish that degree. So my entire life, I kind of always felt misunderstood and overlooked. I always felt lost. I always felt lost, and I didn't know why. But this here is really giving me hope, and it's given me so much reason to forgive myself, because I was very hard on myself. I was very, very hard on myself, because I just didn't understand why I couldn't perform like everybody else, and why I was always carried around this feeling like I was a disappointment to my family. And I used to say things like, I'm the black sheep of the family, even though I don't believe for one second that my family believed that about me, but it's just what I felt about myself. So, you know, this gives me, it gives me hope. It gives me hope. It's kind of a bittersweet kind of thing, because for one, I knew that depression was not it. And I'm so glad that I did not accept that. And that I did not leave it there. Because, yeah, I could have just went on antidepressants and went about my life, still being unfocused and unproductive. And, you know, so I'm so glad that I did not leave it there, because I knew it had to be something more. So yeah, so just come with me as I go on this journey to try to figure out what the hell is going on with me. And as soon as I have an official diagnosis of whatever, I am going to share it, because I am an open book. I'm an open book. And hopefully in me talking and me sharing my story and me sharing my life, that I might motivate someone, that I might help somebody, that I might give somebody an answer, that someone may realize that they are dealing with the same thing, and that they, you know, I don't know. But I'm gonna go, because I have the tendency to start rambling. So I'm gonna go, and I will see you in the next video. If you have not already subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. It costs you $0 to subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you guys in my next video. I hope I didn't bore you, and I love you, and bye-bye.